Who is the very best fish stalker in the world? Yeah, the very best, the absolute best. Good morning, guys and girls. October 4. All righty, let's look at Isaiah 40:28. Well, that's a lot of numbers. Isaiah 40:28. And it says, the Lord is the God who lives forever. The Lord is the God who lives forever, who created all the world. Who created all the world. Yeah, that's right. God is the best fish stalker of all time. God spoke the world into existence. I just kind of get chill bumps when I think about that. God spoke the world into existence. And you know what God said about the fish? He said, let the waters be teeming with fish. Boy, I'd love to be able to stock a lake like that. I'd put a bunch of Floridas in there. I'd put a bunch of northern largemouth. I'd put a bunch of F1s. I'd put those mean-mouthed bass or whatever I could put in there, and I'd really load that water up with a lot of fish. So many fish that even I could catch them. God stocked all of the waters everywhere, and he did it by just saying that. He just spoke them into existence. That's pretty awesome. That's the kind of God we serve. That is the God that we serve. See what I wrote about that. When baits are holding tight to cover, we want to fish great target baits like jigs, plastic worms, and spinnerbaits. During the fall, however, with cooler water, bass start to roam around. They move around a lot. They are still in schools a lot right now, but they're breaking up and they're beginning to move around a lot. These big schools are moving constantly. You find them one day and you catch them, you're not going to be able to find them the next day in the same spot. You'll be able to find them, but not in the same spot. You just have to keep looking. Very similar to what I used in February and March. A Cordell hotspot or a rattle bait, a Hail Mary, a rattle trap, those type baits that you know, the lipless crankbaits is what you call them, becomes my favorite bait. I'll still throw at the bank. I'll make a lot of cast. I'll cover a lot of water. I get out on the big flats. I get back in the ends of pockets. I get in places where bass can really move around a lot. The fish will be scattered, and they won't necessarily be holding around structure. You catch a lot of them out in open water. You know, our water temperatures dropped down to in the low 70s already here in Oklahoma because of these 60-degree nights. And really a lot cooler type days for our high temperature than we normally have. So our water's got pretty cool. God created a changing world, yet God never changes. There's precious little we can count on in this life, especially this year. But we can always count on God in all seasons and in all situations. That's what you want to take to the bank right here. We can always count on God in all seasons and in all situations. Count on the God that spoke the world into existence. Count on the God that saved you and me in all seasons, in all situations. Whatever you're going through right now, doesn't really matter. It could be an extremely difficult situation. I got friends that's dealing with death right now, and yet you can still count on God. God will see you through whatever situation you're in. The God who created us will never die, and he has promised that we will live forever with him in heaven. I'll take that deal. I'll take that deal. All right, let's look at our tip this week. This is a really good one right here. And I think I've talked about this before, not necessarily on a tip, but just talking about it because it's something I've been doing for a long, long time. It's difficult to learn how to do, but if you learn how to do it, you will become a much better fisherman, particularly this time of the year. It's a great time to do it. Learn to half-step a Zara spook. You know what I'm talking about there? Learn to half-step a Zara spook. A Zara spook's a topwater bait shaped like a cigar. I'm developing one right now. We're working on one right now for Lucky Strike that'll be a smaller one. And it just walks so easy. I mean, it walks so easy. It's just anybody can make it walk. But it's called a walking the dog type bait, a Zara spook, but it looks like a cigar. It's about that big around. And it looks like torpedo on both ends. It just sort of looks like a torpedo. And you throw that bait out there and you walk it back and forth. So you take that bait and go, don't walk in it. That's walking the dog or walking a Zara spook. Incredibly great topwater bait for really big bass, especially this time of the year. It's a great, great time of the year to use that type bait, that topwater bait. Half-stepping that bait is where you take the bait and you'll move it to one side, bring it to the middle, and bring it back again. So in other words, you're not walking the dog, you're half-stepping. So you go into the middle, whether you're going this way to the middle. And what happens if you're doing this way, your bait's going to slide off to the left, or it can slide off to the right. Now, you need to do that like fishing around boat docks in particular. I learned to do that on Lake 10 Killer. We got lots of floating boat docks. We caught tons and tons of bass out from under those boat docks. Throw that bait up there by the boat dock, and if you didn't make a perfect cast where you could bring it right by the edge of that boat dock, then you would just simply half-step it over. Or you would throw it and half-step it behind the boat dock, behind that back corner, and then bring it out, bring it down the edge, and then kind of half-step it a little bit around the front. Works on stumps, brush, stuff like that. You can actually catch fish behind structure that you throw at by being able to half-step a spook one way or the other, both ways. Takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, but it's a great thing to learn how to do. Guys and girls, it's a great time of the year to practice. Go out there and have you a good one today. Whack 'em, and remember, I love you.